Hi there, and welcome to the Rangers News YouTube channel. It's Jordan Carlisle here alongside James Black.
How are you doing?
Not too bad, thanks. Progression through the Scottish Cup at the weekend. Not comfortable, not plain sailing against Hamilton. But they were in it for large spells, and we ran away with it at the end. Showed a bit of quality, sort of in the last 20 minutes of the game with 3 goals. What we're going to look at specifically going into, as the fixtures keep coming thick and fast, and we've got Kilmarnock away on Wednesday night, is sort of at centre-back. There's been a bit of chop and changing recently. So Goldson's the constant. When he's fit, Goldson's there every week, and he's Gerrard's man, that's clear to see. But who really should be playing alongside him now that Helander is not going to be back for the foreseeable? So we're talking Edmundson or Katic. And I think a lot of fans have been split on this on social media throughout the season. So what's your initial thought?
It's a tough one. I mean, as you say, there is a real split amongst fans over whether it should be Edmundson or Katic that starts. I think just now, I think it would be kind of unfair to take Edmundson out the side just now. But that said, I don't think that Katic had done anything to kind of warrant him being taken out either. There'll be a wee bit was made about the goal Hamilton scored at the weekend. Edmundson kind of certainly culpable in that, but I don't know, you look at Nikola Katic, he certainly had a few moments of his own where, I mean, he's even had ones at Hamilton, played there last season and kind of really struggled against him there. So yeah, it's a really tough one for me.
I think, Gerrard has come out and said that his rationale for leaving leaving Katic out and bringing Edmundson in the first time for the home game was that it was too slow at the back against Aberdeen. So it wasn't a question of defensive capabilities, it was a question of who can spread the ball quickly enough. It was more about distribution than anything else, so he brings him in for a home game.
Yeah.
But if you're going to somewhere like, the thing is they're both massive lads. You know, they're big strapping players, both quite young though, and that's probably...
Well, that is something else that Gerrard's spoken about, was kind of the need to protect young defenders. Kind of what he said, that he doesn't need to do it quite so much with attacking players. You can take a bit more of a kind of risk with them and throw them into games, but it's not something that he's comfortable doing with his centre backs. So, I mean, there is a chance that he could look to rotate the two of them until Helander's fit, but I think that's one area of the park you really want to get a bit of consistency in and kind of have a settled selection.
Well, that's what we didn't see last year, didn't we? That's the problem. It was is it Worrell, is it Katic? And then Goldson was injured for a wee bit after the winter break and that sort of stuff, and it sort of mixed things up a bit. It just seemed to confuse things a bit. And when we were on a brilliant run going in to the winter break, it was constant. It was Katic and it was Goldson. And the thing with Katic as well is that I think a lot of people who big him up will say that he's such a threat in the opposition box, and his goal against Celtic shows you that. Like, towering header, gets up well above, I think it was Ayer, buries the header, but then Edmundson comes in and scores, and when he comes in, shows like a decent bit of finish in the box. I think there's no... Goldson's come up with a few goals as well this season.
I mean, that's always just a bonus anyway, I think.
Yeah.
That's certainly something that it's great to have, but you need to... Defending's the main thing for them. And for me, there's very little between the two. I don't even think that there's one that Goldson kind of looks more comfortable beside.
Yeah.
I think he kind of seemed to slot in just perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but slotting well enough beside.
Well, see, you say that, but like the problem with Edmundson is because he's had such little playing time that you can't actually really, what we can say is certainly in the games where he played at home, he's looked really comfortable, and he does look comfortable on the ball, and he hadn't really been tested out at the weekend. I think against Hamilton, it was him that shot out the line. The ball's played in behind. He's then tracked back. He's let Smith travel with the ball, and get a shot off and not get the block in. So I think that's, a blot against his name in terms of that's the first real error you can say in his Rangers career he may well have made. But it's just a question of, we've seen from Katic as well, his mentality, I think, that people have talked about before, is he's really, he's fiery and he's really up for things. He'd run through a brick wall for you, but that means he wants to win every header, win every tackle, even if it's not there. So Edmundson to me seems a little bit more chilled out.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair.
But it's whether, like, the problem is the evidence you're going on, it's not a fair, like, sample size or whatever for Edmundson, because you just don't know. You haven't seen enough of him.
There's one thing that just kind of came to mind with me as well there, would be that kind of given the emergence of Edmundson in the starting 11 the last couple of weeks, is there maybe a kind of worry that Helander could be out longer? And you've got to start building up this experience for Edmundson, because he's going to be needed more than possibly expected.
Well, I certainly think it switches up the plans. Like, he's not going to expect that Helander's going to miss 3 months or something when he comes in. The fact is, he's there as your experienced option.
Yeah.
But he's just not at the minute. So you're going between your rock, as Jared sort of calls him, and Goldson, and these other two, which are slightly...
One who's really pretty much untested, and one who's a bit more experienced, but still very young.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
If you're going to a place like Rugby Park, though, do you... Say that's the thing, that there's no difference really between the guys in stature, but people will say that Katic is your enforcer. Mm-hmm. So do you pick your enforcer to go to Rugby Park, or plastic pitch? You want to reduce your Worrell effect from last year. We go here this time last year, Worrell gives the ball away, and the title challenge goes up in smoke.
I think the thing that's got to be most important is doing kind of what's going to be best overall for the whole side. And as I said, I'm not sure that chopping and changing every week is going to help that. Even if it's a case of having Edmundson get 4, 5, 6, 7 games and see whether he's got it to kind of make that position his own. And if come 5, 6, 7 games in, the decision is, well, we're going to get a little bit more for Katic, then maybe you change it. I just think that off the back of Hamilton, I think it would be a big gamble to change it again for the likes of going to Kilmarnock. We've got Livingston coming up shortly. It would be a big gamble to keep making changes defensively.
I think the one thing I would say about Aki's, though, is that in the end, obviously we run away with it, and they obviously did score. It was no clean sheet, but there was also other warning signs. Like, we were caught in behind a few times. Barisic was bailed out by Kamara with sort of a last-ditch thing. He tries to hook it clear, and then they go through, and Kamara just tracks back and gets the ball away. Goldson, the other thing is as well here that when we're talking about Rangers conceding goals and stuff, but Goldson's like almost untouchable in the team. He's still culpable when things go wrong, and he basically, it was pretty much a blatant handball that he got away with.
I got lucky with that.
Yeah, he got very lucky with that, and then it could be a totally different debate. Do we need to hook him from the side? Because you know what I mean. So I think it's more.
I think his experience would carry him through regardless.
Oh, definitely. But what I do think is that it's more general tightening of the back line that we need over the next couple of weeks. When we go to Kilmarnock, they're not the same. They're not the same sort of kettle of fish as they were last year under Steve Clarke. They're not that. They don't have the same threat. They don't have the same toughness about them that you would expect about sort of a trip there. But I do think we need some sort of hopefully that galvanises at the weekend, getting away with a few things and getting through. But I think we need to be slightly more solid. But we've talked around it, so who do you think? What's your back four for the... Well, the other thing is Barisic could well be injured.
Yeah, but nah.
You think he'll be alright?
If not, I think it'll be a straight change anyway. It'll be Halliday comes in for him. But I think it'll be Edmundson that'll get a nod again. I think he'll continue at least for the next couple of games and just see exactly kind of where he is in relation to Katic.
Okay, I'm going to go the other way. I think he'll bring Katic in as not necessarily a dropping, but a guy who'll maybe bring that tad bit more experience and maybe the idea of a bit more physicality. But we'll see, and hopefully whoever they bring in as a back four can keep a clean sheet, because we don't fancy going there in terms of recent history. Obviously a late winner at the start of the season and some struggles last year, so hopefully something a little bit more comfortable this time around.